podcast. I'm David Cruz with my co-host alongside me, Liam Broderick. Say what's up.
That's right. That's right. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
Welcome
Yes,
back.
sir.
Day two.
A lot of topics to talk about. A lot of big topics to talk about today. One that just happened a few hours ago.
That's right.
But first, we're gonna go over the NHL.
We just missed our breaking news.
Just missed it.
That's right. All right. A lot to talk. We'll talk about. All right. So yesterday we had the Islanders beating the Sabres.
Yes.
I think everyone expected that one.
Yeah, of course.
We had the Blackhawks. My poor Blackhawks choking a 3-0 lead to the Lightning, losing
Yeah.
6-3.
Yeah,
That was unfortunate.
that was very unfortunate.
Yeah. We had the Hurricanes beating the Panthers 4-2 in a good battle. Actually, I watched a little bit of that one. That was a good battle.
Yes, that was.
Devils beating the Bruins 1-0.
That's
1-0. You know, the Devils, they've been pretty disappointing, I would
Very.
say, right?
Very.
But, I think when they win pretty, like, they play good games when they win, honestly. But then when they lose bad.
It's all in the synergy of the team. I feel like.
Exactly. They're a very young team. I expect them to be good
Oh,
within
big
the next
things
few years,
coming.
honestly.
Big things are coming.
Capitals are beat the Flyers, 3-1.
Yep.
The Penguins beat the Rangers 5-1, just
I'm
when it seemed
upset
like the
about this.
Rangers were starting to get hot.
Yes, the Penguins had to slow that down.
Yep. The Predators beat the Stars in a shootout yesterday 4-3.
Yes, yes they did.
And the Senators beat the Flames 4-3. I know we said this last time, but what is going on with the Flames? The
Yeah,
inconsistency.
yes. I
Can't keep losing to the Senators.
okay. I know I'm giving them an excuse here, but that was their first game with their second game with their new head coach, so I'm giving them a little
Oh
leeway.
boy.
What? You got to give them leeway. I'm not like trying to bandwagon them in the
How much
slightest,
leeway
but
can we give them?
well,
For a
I,
team that got better over the offseason, they're not playing like it.
I do. Yeah. They're gonna have to start winning, and they're gonna have to start winning soon. There's only 2 more months left in the season.
They're
So
not looking great, if
it's
I'm
not
being
it's not
honest.
looking hot.
But
That's right, they're going.
obviously with the shortened season, anything could happen though.
Of course.
Who knows?
As of right now, they're
But right
currently
now,
the 5
with the
seed.
way they're playing, right now, they are not a playoff team, and it's the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Currently,
what do
they
you say we
have
move
to-
on to today's game?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No. Let's go to today's game. So that what my
All
topic
right.
is about today.
Gotcha. All right. Well, right now we got the Wild beating the Golden Knights in the second period, about halfway through, 1-0.
Yep.
1-0. 14 minutes left in the first. Right now we got the Blues beating the Sharks 1-0. Got 15 minutes left in the first. And then the Senators 1-0 beating the Oilers right now, 14 minutes in the first.
You know why? And you know why
And then-
they're losing 1
yeah.
nothing? It's because Mike Smith is not
Why?
starting.
Because Mike Smith's not playing?
No,
Yeah,
he's
I had a
not.
feeling you were gonna say that.
I'm on his bandwagon.
Who do they got? Who's in that tonight? You are in his bandwagon, and I know exactly why, because he's on your fantasy team.
Well, so
Well, what other recent game?
what? I just
You
like
have-
the guy. He's a chill dude.
Okay. All right. Canadians and Canucks at 10 tonight, and we got the Kings and the Ducks at 10 tonight.
Yes.
Should be a good matchup between a bunch of
Very mediocre
teams
teams.
in the NHL today. Honestly, pretty boring day. None of these games I care about. Not a single Central Division team playing.
Nope.
Doesn't look like there's a single East team
Nope.
playing either. If I'm
Nope. It's
correct.
just north
So
and west.
nothing we care about.
Nope.
But in my opinion, the two most boring divisions. But it would be funny to see the Senators beat the Oilers. Imagine they make a comeback and they
Speaking
just.
of, the Oilers just tied the game.
What do you got? Never mind.
Who scored? Yamamoto.
Who scored?
Yamamoto scored, and the goal was assisted by your boy Darnell Nurse and Cotton McDavid. I'm assuming you're happy about Connor McDavid getting an assist. He's on your fantasy team.
Why not? Why not? Who wouldn't be happy about getting Connor McDavid an assist?
Yes.
See money, man. Everyone loves him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't not.
Let's say though. I want to go over these North Division standings though, if that's all right with you.
Yep.
But going into this season, I remember we made our predictions and stuff.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I had the Maple Leafs first, but I did not have the Canucks at second to last, and then the Flames just ahead of them.
No.
Barely. I mean, I don't know what is going on over there in the North, but the Canadians are in a playoff
Certain
spot right
fact,
now.
the Canucks have an insane first line just of JT Miller, Brock
Yep.
Besser, Quentin Hughes.
That's right. Yep.
It's just like that. I know there's multiple lines, but that first line should be beating 90% of NHL teams.
100%, and they have the most games played in the North right now.
Yes.
Second to last.
They
And the
aren't even
Canadians-
averaging a point a game right now.
The Canadians have 23 games played, but they're in a playoff spot right now,
I
which is
will
just embarrassing
I
to me
will
for the
say, though,
non-playoff teams.
I will say the Canadians are also starting to fall off a little bit, so this is a time for Calgary and Vancouver to start stepping it up.
Well, I mean, they don't start stepping it up. So the Senators might end up taking over, but that's gonna be tough. That is gonna be really tough.
Yeah, it's not a high climb, it's a long climb.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we are about halfway through the season, I'd say.
Yep.
So there's still plenty of time. But I mean, with the way that Flames, Nucks, and Senators have been playing, I don't see them going anywhere near the playoffs. Personally, I think the top 4 teams in the North right now are the teams we'll see in the playoffs.
Yes. I feel like the Maple Leafs got very lucky with how the divisions ended up this year because they are just running away with the
yeah.
North right now. Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
running
the
away
Jets
with it.
got worse right when they traded Patrick Laine. They immediately got worse, but they're playing all right. Hellebuck's not playing up to Hellebuck level, but
No, he's not.
what are you gonna do about that? The Oilers, McDavid, and Draisaitl still have no support over there. What else is new?
Yeah.
I mean, the Canadians are playing better than I expected, and the Flames and Canucks just been monumental disappointments.
Yeah.
And
right.
the Senators, they're the Senators. I mean, come
The
on.
Senators are the Senators, and at this point, if I'm the Senators, I would just keep going worse to get better odds for first overall pick.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd say about right now they're not competing for a playoff spot. They're competing for the first overall pick.
Yes. Another team that's not they're not in the North, but another team that's really starting to fall off, the Dallas Stars.
The Dallas Stars.
What's happening?
Ever since that really unfortunate snowfall that happened in Texas, few weeks ago that was a bit, I'd say.
Two and
month
a half
ago?
weeks ago.
Yeah, well, ever since then, brutal.
Brutal.
20 games played, 19 minutes. Brutal.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Dallas. I mean, obviously the Red Wings have played 6 more games than the Stars, but if they win one more, they're overtaking the Stars.
Yeah.
But
I feel very bad
personally,
for
that means
because
nothing.
he is putting the team on his back right now.
Joe Pavelski, man, I want to say he should have just stayed with the Sharks, but I look at where the Sharks are right now. Not better. Not better than the Stars. Same amount of points, I believe. Yeah, same amount of points, but more games played.
Yeah, something's also got to change in Dallas. It's at this point it's embarrassing not only to Dallas but to the whole state of Texas. They're not gonna put rep on hockey in Texas, even though they were just in the Stanley Cup Finals, not even 6 months ago. It's insane how much a team can change.
No, it really is. I mean, if you remember the Sharks in 2019, they were dominant.
Domination.
I believe they made it Western Conference Finals, and now look at them. They didn't even make the expanded postseason or playoffs last year.
No, they didn't.
I don't know what's going on over there. Let's go to the East Division for a second.
Yep.
Buffalo, disappointing as disappointing as we last checked on them.
Yep.
The Devils, about the same, I'd say.
It's same old.
Now
Same
the
old every
Rangers.
year.
The Rangers, up until that game in Pittsburgh, I was ready to write down on my little list that I prepared before we do these. Are the Rangers starting to get hot? But unfortunately, they lost 5-1 to the Penguins.
They did. They did.
That sucked.
As
sucked to watch.
As a Rangers fan, I would like to think we're starting to get hotter, but you can't base us being hotter when we were playing the Sabres and the Devils. You can't base it off of that. So
Yeah. Now here's my question. Let's just start to get hot.
Yes.
They play in one of the tougher divisions, and after such a slow start, is it too late?
It's never too late until it's mathematically impossible. That's my take on
Yeah.
it. But
I mean, I just look at some of these teams. These are powerhouse teams. The Islanders are on a 5-game win streak, which is really impressive.
yes,
But I know they haven't played the best teams, but still, a 5-game win streak against anyone is impressive.
that's very yeah.
Capitals are playing a lot better than they were at the start of the season. I'll
Yeah,
definitely give them
they're
that.
starting to get into that
Bruins
group.
playing as good as they always do, and Penguins have also picked it up a little bit.
They have.
Flyers have played a little less games than some others, but they're still right in the mix. And it's just a big deficit between the Flyers and the Rangers right now.
Yeah.
But the Flyers are on a 2-game losing streak, so if the Rangers want to get hot, now's the time.
Yeah, we gotta get so something's got to change in New York.
Absolutely. Oh, and I didn't even mention the Buffalo Sabres are on a 7-game losing streak.
Losing streak. Wow.
What a joke.
That is a joke.
What a joke. I saw a stat today.
Yes.
You want to know how many goals Jimmy Vesey has this season?
How many?
He has 5. You want to know how much Hall and Jeff Skinner have?
I'm assuming less.
4.
That's depressing.
What a joke.
That is a joke.
All 3 of those guys are all-star caliber players, and I'd argue that Hall and Eichel are MVP caliber players, and my God, it is brutal.
The way they're all playing this season, not so much.
And I know Jack Eichel trade rumors have been on the rise recently, but this is not the time to trade Jack Eichel. His stocks is just at an all-time low.
All-time low.
The way he's been playing, I'd wait on it.
Would you
Honestly,
would
what
you
do
wait,
you have to
would
lose?
you wait an entire whole season, or would you try to do it by like the end of the trade deadline, or like?
It depends on if he picks it up. If he doesn't pick it up, no, I'd wait until next season.
Okay.
Give him a
I
fresh
like
reset.
that.
Hopefully everything goes back to normal by then. We give him a little bit of a full season to recover, and then maybe by next year's trade deadline you get something going. Because right now you're not going to get anything for Jack Eichel.
Yeah.
Not what the Buffalo Sabres are looking for, at least.
No. I'm gonna talk a second about the Central Division. Tampa Bay
Yep.
they're not completely running away with the division, but Carolina and Florida out of nowhere is still in the hunt for a 1 seed in the Central.
Really just surprising to me. I mean, who would have expected that, honestly?
Florida Panthers being
But-
one of the better teams in hockey.
But it's extremely impressive to me, honestly. Even as a Blackhawks fan, where I'm hoping they lose, it is very impressive to me to see where they're playing.
You got to respect the way that they're playing.
Definitely.
And they haven't had the easiest schedule this season yet. They've been versing very good
No,
teams.
not at all. And I think you also have to respect the way the Blackhawks have been playing, just because, just like what I said between the Flyers and the Rangers. If you look at the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets, there's a big deficit between points right there,
Absolutely.
and same amount of games played.
Absolutely.
Then we go to the Blue Jackets and the Predators. Pretty big deficit between them too, honestly. So right now, it's not that big, but it's decent.
It's
But-
gonna definitely be a race between the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets for that 4 seed in the Central.
I personally agree. I think the top 3 spots are relatively locked up. It's just a
Yes.
matter of what the order is going to be by the end of the season.
Yes, the Dallas.
But I think it's locked up
Stars-
between the Lightning, Hurricanes,
Dallas
and Panthers.
Stars is just out of the equation at this point.
I mean, they have a lot. They have a few less games played than everyone else, but they really got to pick it up now.
Even if they win every single game that they're still down, they wouldn't even have enough. They would tie the Blackhawks in points if they won 6 straight,
Yeah,
and that would mean that Blackhawks would have to lose another 6 straight.
yeah. Something's got to change out there in Dallas, and then of course, everyone's favorite, the Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings. It's great because they always have the last seed on lock. It's great.
That's true, right?
It's good for all Central team fans. It's great. You're not coming in last in that division.
You know what though? You know what they can rejoice in?
What?
They're not the worst team in the NHL right now. That
No,
spot
they're not.
is locked up by the Buffalo Sabres.
Yes.
Whew.
It's
What a
depressing.
run through right there.
Depressing for
Yeah.
a Sabres fan. Very
No, it's
depressing.
brutal, but honestly, if there is any Sabres fans left out there and they're listening to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am so sorry for you guys.
All right. Time to go
What do you
on to
Move on.
fantasy stats. There's one defender that has been going off this season that's been so underrated and so under the radar because there's just too many good offensive defensemen this year in Darnell Nurse and Miro Heiskanen. But one player that has been slept on, in my opinion, is Samuel Gerard. He
I
is
agree.
going off recently for the Avalanche. He might be, don't quote me on this, but he might be doing better than Cale Makar.
Okay. Now
Like
I'd say one of the reasons. Yeah.
Stats wise, he is, but I don't know how he is in the locker room. But I don't know what his presence is in the locker room. But he's putting up good points.
Yeah, I'd say one of the reasons he flies under the radar is, I mean, look at the team he plays for.
That's true.
He's not going to get as much coverage as Nathan McKinnon and Gabe Landeskog and Cale Makar, too. I mean, and especially the way Grubauer's been playing this year. I mean, he's getting a lot of attention, too.
He's been so underrated this year. He's a top.
He's flown under the radar, just like you said,
Samuel Gerard. I don't know if he's a top 5 goalie, but he's definitely top 10.
I'd say top. If we're talking top 5 goalies just based off this year, maybe.
It would be close, but he's definitely up there. I mean, when you're putting
sure.
yourself in a category of Marc-Andre Fleury, Vasilevsky, Lankinen, who's been going off this year, and then you see
slowing down a little
Grubauer,
bit.
You're in a good group.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, we have someone in our fantasy hockey league who has Grubauer and Fleury, so he's pretty set in the goaltender situation, I'd say.
And as for me, I have Jacob Markstrom, and that's about it. And Jacob Markstrom has not been doing very well recently since he come back from injury.
Well, he at least he's back now,
He's back, and I'm happy that he's back, but I'm now 4 games out of a playoff spot with only 5 weeks left.
It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. Now, I'd like to talk about a trade that happened earlier today between 2 members of our league. Nazem Kadri and Joel Farabee for Brad Marchand.
Yeah, I've been wanting Farabee for a minute ever since he got picked up, and I just can't get a trade to get him because the guy who had him was being very annoying in trading him to me. He did not want me to have
the guy that had him. His name is Nico, and he might be listening right now. I'm not sure if he is. How you doing, Nico? Way to fleece Zach on this trade.
Yes.
But I mean, I have the power to veto this trade, but I don't even want to. Zach deserves for this trade to go through just because of how terrible it is.
Yes, how terrible his season has been also for his fantasy team. He's on a 7 or 8 game losing streak. It's just not good.
He is on a 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
As of right now, me and Ants Bruins, though, we are killing them. We're both on 5-game win streaks, riding high.
Nothing's stopping you.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
You almost got stopped last night. You only won by 0.4.
I did. 0.4 points last night because of a Mark Giordano goal, I believe.
Yes. He saved your behind.
That's right. That's right. But, Damon, I think you definitely got to pick it up soon. Who do you play this week?
I don't know what else I don't know what else I could do with my team.
You're getting
my team, like...
Yeah.
It's just I'm too afraid to go with big players, and I know my luck is
once
I give up one of them is just going to get red hot real quick.
Yeah, well, we talked about this yesterday, but we said that with Damian's points that he scored, he would have beaten about 5 people, I believe it was.
I would have beaten everybody except for my friend that I lost to and one other person. I would have beaten 7 other people in the league.
Okay, so there's a 10-person league, and he would have been beaten 7 other people. And he got matched up with one of the few people he wouldn't have beaten.
Yes. And
he would have beaten me.
In our league, anything over I'd say 10 to 115 is a good number.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy I was versing yesterday dropped 185 points. There's no competition with that.
Red hot.
There's no competition.
No.
And it's sad. It's sad for me.
Nah.
It's sad for the entire Troubadours team. That's my team name.
We haven't figured out what that means yet, but we're working on it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But
Jacob Trouba finally returned too, by the way.
Yes, I'm very happy, not only for a fantasy standpoint, but as a Rangers fan standpoint. That needed to happen because our defense was pretty atrocious while he was gone.
Hopefully get feed Adam Fox a little bit.
Yes, because now him and Adam Fox are on the first line defenseman. That is a scary first line defense.
Pretty
If I
solid pairing right there.
Yes, Adam Fox being as offensive defenseman as you can get, and Troubadour and Trouba just being a brick wall.
Yep.
Can't
And
go wrong.
we haven't heard anything about Panarin in 2 weeks. I haven't heard a word. Have you?
No, he's being quiet, which
Haven't
I
heard a
respect.
single thing.
But at this point, I don't think he's coming back this year, and I think he's just gonna have to.
Really?
No. It's already
Not
March
at all.
10th. There's literally 2 months left. He's in Russia right now or wherever, and like,
Yeah.
I think at this point,
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I think at this point, I think he's just gonna need a reset, and a Rangers are gonna need a reset, and then just go fully next year.
Yeah.
Go fully into it.
I mean, that's what I was expecting for the Rangers this year. Honestly, I'm not a Rangers fan, but I was a little disappointed with the way they've played this year so far.
Oh yes.
Obviously, it's still time to turn around, but with your best player being out for the foreseeable future, it's going to be tough.
Advantage at just doing nothing this year.
Hopefully, it can turn into like last year's March version of Mika's advantage and just pick it up.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's bad. He only scored his 4th goal of the year yesterday. Only his 4th.
I mean, they're gonna
He's supposed to be our
need
main
him
goal
to.
scorer.
They're gonna need him to turn into they're gonna need him to get 5 goals again. Honestly.
5-goal game.
Yeah.
He just needs that one game to pick himself back up and then get back in the groove.
Yeah. When do they play Washington again?
I honestly don't know, but I hope it's soon.
Yeah. Also, the goaltending pairing of Georgiev and Shesterkin. I expected that to be one of the best pairings in the NHL. I am dead wrong, it seems, about it.
Well, no,
It was terrible at the start of the season.
No.
It's better now.
Yeah, Igor's picked it up.
Terrible at the start.
Georgiev, I don't know. On the other hand, I don't know.
I expected it to be a lot better
I feel like
than
at this point, I think the Rangers just have to stick with Igor as their main starter, and then just have Georgiev be our backup. I don't think we should be splitting time.
I agree. Honestly, I think it's time to just give Georgiev the nod.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'd say that about covers the NHL, don't you think? What were you gonna say?
No, because at this point, it's embarrassing for Georgiev.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time to move on
from
NHL. Time to go on to some
right.
MLB.
Let's head to the MLB. Spring training.
Spring training.
The Marlins tied with the Cardinals tonight, 7-7.
Yep.
The Mets fall to the Nationals 9-5. We'll get into that a little after we're done here. Mariners fall to the Indians 10-0. Diamondbacks and the Giants tie 2-2. Dodgers beat the White Sox 8-0.
Yeah.
The Royals beat the A's 10-3. The Cubs shut out the Rangers 9-0. The Reds defeat the Rockies 6-4. And the Brewers squeak out a win against the Angels 10-9.
Yes.
All right, well, I want to go over that Mets-Nationals game.
Okay.
Honestly. The Nationals prospects lit up the Mets today. The pitching was atrocious. Matt Allen, who's one of our top prospects, got lit up. Now, he's never pitched above single A ball, which I get. He's probably not, I'm surprised he was even at spring training, honestly, but rough.
It was ugly.
But if there's one, light at the end of the tunnel for that game that we had to watch, Mets fans, Francisco Lindor got the monkey off the back, and he got his first hit as a New York Met. Doesn't that feel good? And of course, extension talks have begun.
Yeah,
so,
if you're a Mets fan,
if there's light at the end of the tunnel. Absolutely, and as Mets fans, we hope this gets done quick so we can move on to Conforto, and maybe even Conforto gets done quick. Maybe we can even go to Syndergaard. Stroman, I don't know. I expect Stroman to walk. I don't even expect us.
Not to.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even expect Syndergaard to get an extension. You know what I expect?
What?
I expect him to do what Marcus Stroman did and accept the qualifying offer if he gets one.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I think will happen.
Okay.
Because let's face it, what did Stroman get? Like 16 mil for accepting the qualifying offer? So it'd be a little higher next year. Let's say like 17 mil.
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting 17 mil anywhere else unless he, just dominates right out the second half of the season.
Which I'm expecting not to happen just because he's coming back from a serious surgery.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not expecting that either. I don't think anyone is, but that's our hope, you know. So I think he'll take the qualifying offer, have himself a little prove-it year in 2022, and
Hmm.
then we'll see from there.
I have a this is a
All right.
question only for you. Like this is a question for Mets fans, but I'm gonna ask you
Yep.
this. I'm assuming you think that Jacob DeGrom is the Mets franchise player.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, this is my question. Who do you think
Yeah.
the Mets franchise player would be from your lineup,
Whew.
from your from the field? Because you have Pete Alonso, you have Jeff McNeil, you have
Yep.
Francisco Lindor, you have Michael Conforto. I would just want to see what your thoughts on that are, or what your opinion is.
Well, I would love to say Pete Alonso or Francisco Lindor, of course, but Pete Alonso, from what I saw last year, I just can't put him there yet.
Yep.
Obviously, 2019 was outstanding, breaking
Yes.
the home run rookie record and stuff and all that. But 2020 was a little bit of a step back. He still hit 16 home runs, I believe it was, but 233 batting average. But and Lindor, he doesn't have much team control right now, and I don't know for sure if he's gonna get an extension. He might walk in free agency, and maybe the Mets let him walk. Maybe the Mets decide to go a Trevor Story or a Baez option instead, or a
I mean,
Correa
the
option.
Mets are gonna have to splash the cash.
Exactly. No matter what they do, unless they decide to trust one of our prospects to come up and play shortstop, which I hope that doesn't happen. I'm hoping for the Lindor extension. But back to your question. I don't know. Right now, I put that franchise player as Jeff McNeil. I
Jeff
think he's
McNeil.
been consistently our best hitter since 2018. I know Michael Conforto had a great year last year, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Conforto in the past, he's never hit above 300 except for last year, and last year was 60 games. And I love Conforto. I think he's great. But if I want to put, I'm basing it on consistency. Jeff McNeil
Jeff
is our most
McNeil.
consistent bat in the lineup right now. 100%.
I was just interested because as a Yankees player, it's gotta it's only between Aaron Judge and DJ at this point, and I
Yeah.
think in their own ways they can each
hmm
be. I still think it is Aaron Judge only because of his presence in the locker room that I've been hearing about. But
I think Aaron Judge is definitely a face of the franchise.
oh, absolutely,
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's definitely one of the most marketable players in the MLB, I'd say.
absolutely.
But do I think skill wise he's the best Yankee player?
Oh, absolutely
No,
not.
no, I don't.
Absolutely
But
not.
maybe if he stayed healthy, yeah, which obviously that's not his fault. It happens to everyone.
Happens to the
But
best of us.
it's just unlucky. But Aaron Judge is definitely the face of that franchise. That guy, I mean, he can do no wrong, it seems like. I'm a Mets fan of Aaron Judge. How could you hate Aaron Judge? Unless maybe you're a Boston Red Sox fan, which I guess that's
He
acceptable.
gives off the same vibes as Derek Jeter did. He really did.
He seems like a leader. He really does. And
Yes.
I'd say when he's out, who do you think fills that role? For me, I think Brett Gardner fills that role while Aaron Judge is out as the locker
Oh,
room leader.
absolutely. Yeah, he is the longest tenured player on that team. He's
Yep.
he's a veteran in the locker room. He's very consistent. You know what you're
Likely to
gonna get
finish
out
his
of him.
career as
He's
a
a great,
Yankee.
yep, a great defender.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't
he's
go
just
wrong.
been solid.
Very solid throughout his
He,
career.
I mean, although Todd Frazier only spent those 2 years with the Mets, I agree. He really does kind of remind, or 3 years, excuse me, because 2020 was there a little bit. He does remind me of Todd Frazier in a way that I feel like he could rally a locker room, even though he didn't have that connection with the Mets that Brett Gardner has with the Yankees. He just seems like a leader,
Yeah.
almost like a dad in the locker room. Yeah, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying. And for Aaron Judge, if he can become a consistent player, because the fans
Yep.
love him.
Oh yeah.
This was at the talk. These were talks after his rookie year and his second year playing.
hmm
There's talks if he should be the next Yankee captain.
Phew.
I have mixed
I,
feelings about it, but if he
I think before you, yeah.
if we got definitely give him, I'd say another at least 3 years and then make a decision. But if he's a Yankee throughout the rest of his career, and he ends as a Yankee, I feel like he should get the nod for being the Yankee captain.
I think so too, but I
He's
think
just
before
a
they worry
leader.
about making him a captain, they got to worry about keeping him around long term.
Absolutely. And
Because let's face it,
this is his last year of arbitration, so he's either leaving or staying next year, and I'm assuming he's gonna
because
stay.
let's face it, the Yankees they're paying a lot of guys. DJ, they looked out on DJ, man.
They
I don't
did
know how
look
they
at
pulled
him.
that one off, but they're still paying. They're paying Stanton, they're paying Cole, and they might end up having to pay Glaber too. So
Do you
watch
think
out for that
DJ
one.
LeMahieu was the biggest steal money-wise this offseason?
The offseason,
Yes. Money-wise.
I look at every player that was acquired this offseason, and I'd say most of them I would consider overpaid. I would say the only payer like top 10 like guys that were acquired this offseason or re-signed this offseason, JT Realmuto was the only one that I don't think was overpaid because I think that was a necessity for the Phillies. If they didn't bring him back after what they traded to the Marlins, which I'm pretty sure they traded some top level prospects that are almost MLB ready,
Yeah.
they had to bring back JT no matter how much it costs. So that's why I really don't think JT was overpaid. But Springer, I think he was a little overpaid. Trevor Bauer, I don't even want to get started on him. We
Nope.
all know
Just
he was
move on.
overpaid. And DJ, I think giving him what was it, 6 years?
Fifth. I think it was 6. Yes.
6 years, 90 mil.
That's only 15 mil a year. We could have given him
Yeah,
double that, and that
yeah.
still wouldn't have been enough.
He
From my
was.
eyes.
It became extremely evident by right before he signed that he just wanted to have job security. He didn't care all that much about the money.
He doesn't,
It was
which I
very
like.
clear.
I like that.
Definitely. And you could tell he wanted to be a Yankee, and that's what I like. I want, if you're gonna play for my favorite team, I want to know you want to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of signings, Jake
Mhm.
Odorizzi signing with the Astros.
Jake Odorizzi. We talked about him last time,
Yeah.
last big guy that didn't sign, and here we go.
Here we go.
Do you think this has anything to do with the Framber Valdez injury from last week?
Well,
Do you think they would have signed him if he didn't get hurt?
I still think they signed him.
Yeah, probably.
I
Now,
believe they signed him.
the contract was for 2 years, and I believe there is a player option after next year.
Okay.
And the money has not been disclosed, as a matter of fact. The general manager has not disclosed the terms of money, but we got the time that'll be in Houston, 2 years. And in my opinion, as much as I don't like the Astros, I don't think anyone does. I think they have an underrated team. You look at that top three rotation. Greinke, even though I know he's not what he used to be, but he's still Zach Greinke, and he's still pretty dominant. Greinke, McCullers, who I think is still a solid starting pitcher, and Odorizzi. That's a solid top three right there, and it's possible we see Verlander come back next year. It's highly unlikely. It's
Very
highly
unlikely.
unlikely. But it is possible, especially if they make the postseason. We could see him make a postseason return. But even looking at their lineup, Jordan, Altuve, Correa, Bregman. I know losing Springer was tough, but they get Kyle Tucker out there, Josh Reddick. I mean, they're a solid team.
They're a solid team.
Maldonado. As
But-
much as no one likes them, they have a solid team.
They do. They do.
And Brantley too. I totally forgot they re-signed him. They have a solid team.
They
Of
do.
course, losing Springer is a huge deficit. But I mean, come on, they still have a solid offense.
This is the way I'm looking at it. From
Mhm.
all those star players, the seasons that they had last year, and they lost Verlander.
Yeah,
They gotta completely switch it around. I don't think any of those star players had over a 300 average.
and they also finished below 500 last season. So I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
like you said before with the Flames, they did have a new manager. They were dealing with a lot last year. I mean, Bregman was out too last year. He'll be back though, I believe. And you had some guys that kept it consistent. Correa and Springer, I'd say, kept it consistent.
Altuve though, was
definitely not.
complete opposite.
Even
of
Bregman, before he
consistent.
got hurt, I think he started to, dial it down a little bit. But
Mhm.
honestly, I think when you look at that team, I think Dusty Baker's a great manager. And, the Mets fired Mickey Callaway back in 2019. He was one of the guys I was hoping they'd hire. Didn't happen, of course. But I don't know. I think they were just trying to get the feel of things last year, like every team was with the COVID situation. But I think their situation was definitely unique considering what they were going through with the sign stealing scandal, of course.
Yeah, that ever since it was gonna be a tough year before going into it, and
Definitely.
I'll give it to them. They held their own, but they barely held their own, and they
Yep.
aren't also in the greatest of divisions, so that also very helped them a
That's
lot.
true.
Their only competition was the Athletics,
Yep.
so. And I feel like it's going to be the
Also,
same
yeah.
thing this year of the Athletics winning the division and the Astros coming in second.
hmm
But
Also, you look at I mean, when you're an Astros player in the box, yeah, all these Astros players have social media. They hear what people say. Oh, throw at their heads, peg them. I bet that's what they're thinking about every time they go up to that box. You think they're gonna? I bet they're thinking, "Am I gonna get thrown at here? Is someone gonna throw it in my head?" And you know what? That did happen a lot. It did, and I never condone anyone throwing at someone, no matter what they did. That's just
yeah, don't throw
that's
at their
just not
head.
right.
But if you want to throw at their legs, do it.
Fine, yeah, and
Don't
I liked
intentionally
the
throw
Joe
it.
Kelly
Don't
thing.
intentionally throw it at someone's head. Throw it at their feet and see what they do.
Yeah, I was okay with the Joe Kelly thing because I don't think when he threw it at Bregman's head, I don't think he was aiming for his head personally, but
No.
it's possibly was. I'm not Joe Kelly. I don't know what's going on in his mind, even though he wasn't on the Dodgers and what was it?
2018,
Yeah, 2017,
17. I'm sorry,
right?
2017, 2017.
2017. Yeah, he wasn't. I don't believe he was on the Dodgers in 2017. So I don't really know what his personal vendetta was against Carlos Correa and the Astros, but that's his thing. I guess he was just standing up for his team for that one, which I respect. And gotta love Joe Kelly.
Yeah, I, I'm starting to gain a lot of respect for him.
Definitely. I didn't even know who he was, honestly. I just remembered it from. Do you remember during the COVID quarantine when he threw the ball through his window
Yep,
when
I
he was
remember.
doing the yeah?
I remember that. That was that.
That's really all I knew him from.
That got me laughing for at least 24 hours. That definitely got me. I have one last
Yep.
mini topic before we move
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
to the NBA.
Definitely.
You're talking about Zach Greinke before
Yep.
and how he is consistent. When do we think he's going to start falling off?
I think he already has started
If he
falling
starts
off.
falling off, if he starts falling off this year, that's going to be a problem.
I think he already has started falling off,
No,
but I think it's
let me rephrase.
yeah,
Falling
yeah.
off to the point where his ERA is just going skyrocketing.
Okay.
He's letting up home runs left, right, and the center. He's getting lit up
Yeah.
every single game he pitches. When do we think that's going to start happening?
All right. Well, I think before I, answer that, I think Zach Greinke needs to start showing that he cares. Because you remember last year when he was showing people his signs on purpose, and then he did it in the postseason, and he got a home run hit off of him from Laureano, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was.
I know Greinke probably doesn't want to be with the Astros, honestly, and who would? I wouldn't.
No.
But you got to show that you care, because whether you like it or not, you're still a part of that team. You're still playing to win.
Yeah,
So, you know what? I don't like the Astros, but prove everyone wrong, Astros. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. Prove that you're not just winning because of the sign stealing,
they need to
And
prove the entire NBA wrong. I mean MLB
definitely,
wrong.
MLB. But, Greinke needs to show he cares. But to answer your question about when he's going to start falling off, don't think he'll be an Astro after this year, because I believe he's a free agent after this year.
He is a free agent after this year, and he's not. He's getting up there in age. I want to say 36, 37. Yep. So
I bet he'll sign a 2-year contract with the Los Angeles Angels. He'll do okay that first year, and then he'll fall off significantly in that second year, and then he will retire.
So you're not thinking he's gonna fall off in the 2021 season? You don't think he's gonna?
I don't think so. I think he's gonna keep it decent. Obviously not like 2015-16 Zach Greinke, but
no.
Decent.
Because if he does fall off this year, the Astros are gonna be in deep trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
He's the number one starter.
Yeah. I think the Astros should have been a lot more in on some better pitchers than Jake Odorizzi, personally.
Yep.
But obviously, too late for that. Maybe who knows? Maybe they'll make a trade for a decent starter. But until then, we're working with the team they got right now, and the team they got right now needs Zach Greinke to go off.
To have one of his better seasons in the last 10 seasons.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Time to move on to the NBA. Blake Griffin. What? Why?
Blake Griffin.
Why?
The four-headed monster of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
Or is it?
Well,
is it?
We're gonna have
Because
to see.
you look at what the Nets gave up for James Harden.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, a bunch of picks.
Bunch of picks.
Now, I know Blake Griffin. Everyone knows Blake Griffin, but this isn't Blake Griffin of 5 to 6 years ago.
No,
This is
this
2021 Blake Griffin.
isn't slam dunk winning Blake Griffin.
Now, you know what I think? I don't think the Nets have a four-headed monster. I think they have. I don't think they have a big four or anything like that. I think they have a big three.
In
I don't think Blake Griffin adds to that. I think
Durant,
I think
Harden, Kyrie.
Blake Griffin. Yep, Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. I don't think Blake Griffin, has attached himself to that big three. I think he is just going to fill. Not. I don't want to even say fill a spot, but I think he is going to fill the roles and the holes that were left
He's gonna be a
after
role
that James
player.
Harden trade. Exactly. He's not. I don't think anyone is expecting Blake Griffin to go out there and put up James Harden or Kevin Durant or former Blake Griffin numbers. But I think he is there to fill the hole that was left. And James Harden's done a great job doing it, by the way.
Yes.
But of filling the holes that Karis LeVert and Jared Allen left
'Cause
when they were traded.
They were his position, so
Now, I'm not saying that Blake Griffin can't bounce back with a change of scenery, but rarely do we see guys leave a city. He was in Detroit, right?
Detroit.
If I'm correct, rarely do we see a guy leave somewhere like Detroit and then play better in New York. It's a rare case. Most of the time, it goes the other way. They play worse when they come to New York.
Yep.
But who knows? Maybe Blake Griffin will prove a lot of people wrong. I believe he signed for the veterans minimum, if I'm correct.
Yes. Correct.
I want to know your opinion on this. How do you feel about the Blake Griffin?
They definitely increased their odds to win games because of him, but he's not going to do anything special. He's not going to be putting up 30-point games every single game. He's going to be a role player.
Yep.
He's going to drop anywhere from 10 to 20 points a game. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get assists. He's not going to be anywhere near an all-star or an MVP candidate, but he's I know you didn't like to say it like this, but he is filling a gap that has had some big shoes in it, and he's gonna have to play to his standards that were 5-6 years ago.
Yep.
So, also from the Nets, because the Nets don't have the greatest playoff history when it comes to winning. Do we think they are a deep playoff team, maybe even a finals team?
I think they are your finals winners.
You think they are?
Personally.
Okay.
100%. And I think that's the whole reason Blake Griffin came here. I think the only reason he came here was to win that championship.
Right.
I don't think he could do it anywhere else. And unless he signed with the Lakers, of course, but I don't really think the Lakers wanted him. I think it was either Lakers, Nets, or you're not winning the championship. Personally.
Okay. As of now, the Nets are the 2 seed, only behind the 76ers. The 76ers are having one of the better seasons in their franchise history right now, and they are unstoppable right now. Do we think they get a 1 seed?
I think they better because after next year, they have next year with I think they have Griffin for next year too, right? I believe it's the 2-year thing.
Yep.
Okay, so they have Blake Griffin, James Harden, Kevin Durant next year. All 3 of those guys next year could be gone. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. I really don't. But it could. It could. Those 3 guys could be gone. And then you're left with Kyrie. And guess what? Kyrie by himself will not get the job done.
No, he won't.
So it is either this year, next year, or that's it. You're going to suck for a decade.
Yeah.
Because you just gave up 4 draft picks and 4 draft swaps.
It's that
either,
that mentality of win now.
Exactly. It's either win now or you're not going to win for a while.
In the Eastern Conference, the only teams I can see beating the Nets in a playoff series are the 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and if you're lucky, the Boston Celtics, because the Celtics haven't been having that good of a year this year in the slightest. They've had their complete highs and their complete lows.
Yeah.
But when they're at their high, they might be one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, I think the Nets will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and probably lose to the Bucks. That's my opinion. And that's what I think that's gonna happen because they're gonna sweep the 7 or 8 seed, which is either gonna be the Hornets or the Raptors, who both completely suck. Then they either verse the Heat. It can go any from Heat to the Knicks to the Pacers. Like they're just gonna win that game too, win that series too, because that's just easy. And then the Eastern Conference Finals it's either gonna be the 76ers, the Bucks, or the Celtics. And I personally don't see because they have no synergy in the slightest whatsoever. They don't have. I don't think Harden, Durant, or Kyrie has ever played with Blake Griffin ever.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the way they've been playing, just the three of them. You really think just Blake
I
Griffin
understand
joining
that,
them is going to
but it's
change
almost.
that much?
But okay, here's my counter argument to that: the
Ah,
2016 Warriors. Well, how come they didn't
yep.
win? They had their three big people and they lost.
No,
I
that's a
feel
fair point.
the 2021 Nets are giving off the same vibes as the 2016 Warriors, where they have three insane studs and then they have complete absolute garbage cans on their bench.
Okay,
It's
well,
the
yeah, no,
same.
I get what you're saying, but in 2016, did you bet against them? Would you have?
No.
Okay, so why are we doing it now? I bet we're doing it now because they lost in 2016, right? So
Yes.
I think you think that we're learning from our mistakes by betting against the Nets here, but I disagree. I think the Nets are going to prove people wrong.
Well, there's only one thing to do, and that's to wait and see.
Yeah, but I think if they don't win the NBA championship this year or next year, that James Harden trade, and if James Harden leaves, of course, and Kevin Durant, if they leave, then that trade, they lose no matter
Oh, I
what.
believe. Yeah, I definitely think Durant and Harden will be out of there, no matter what, if they don't
Now
leave.
that's a lot of pressure to put on a team, of course, but
Yep.
that's what the Knicks did when, or sorry, excuse me, that's what the Nets did when they traded for James Harden. They put a lot of pressure on that
Yeah,
team.
they did. But pressure is what you need to win championships.
Yep.
It's the number one thing. If
Yeah,
you don't
let's
have
just hope
pressure,
they
then
can
what's the
come
point?
up in the clutch.
One final topic. Team LeBron winning the All-Star game yesterday against Team Durant, 170-150. That's his fourth straight All-Star game win as captain. So he's 4-0. Do you think they're rigging LeBron winning every single
Do I
year?
think they're rating LeBron winning every single year?
I
As
personally
much as
don't
I
think so.
don't, as much as I don't like LeBron James, I won't go that far to say they're rigging the games for him to win. But I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be smart because
Yes.
you know, let's face it, who else is more marketable than LeBron
Then LeBron
James?
James.
I
Yeah.
mean, who else could you really make a case for?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. It's LeBron James. I mean, it obviously varies on where you live, of course, but I think when you think the NBA right now, if I ask you name one current player in the NBA right now, most people are going to say LeBron James.
LeBron James.
And there's a reason for that. As much as it pains me to admit it, he's been the best player of the past decade. And, he shows up every night and he does kill it, unfortunately. But no, I don't think they're rigging the game though.
No,
But
yeah, I
I
personally
mean,
don't think so either. I was just gonna ask that
I
question
can
because
see
I know
why.
how much I know your hatred for LeBron James.
Yeah, it doesn't run that deep though.
You gotta respect him as a player though. You just completely hate his Twitter game. His Twitter game you completely despise.
I do hate it. I haven't hated LeBron until about quarantine started, this year or last year,
Yes.
because he
When it's
got very active on Twitter.
when it seemed like the only app he was ever using was Twitter.
It just doesn't seem necessary for LeBron to give his opinion on every. Well, I mean, I guess that's what we do. I guess we give our opinion on sports things, but I don't think. You know what I don't like?
What?
I feel like LeBron thinks everyone needs to follow his LeBron mentality, and he applauds people when they follow his LeBron mentality. And then when they don't follow his specific LeBron mentality, he doesn't say shit because it's not the LeBron way to do it, you know?
Nope, it's not. Well, we'll see. In my personal opinion, I think the Lakers are winning back to back, but
I hope not.
so as of now, you have the Nets, I have the Lakers.
Yep.
But
And
we'll
it's
see.
very possible that we see those two square up in the NBA
We'll
Finals.
see. Season's already halfway over in the NBA, so we'll see.
Yeah,
All right, time for
very
our final
interesting.
topic of the day. Dak Prescott. Holy money.
Dak, Dak Prescott
Number 4.
didn't hit free agency, decided to go for the extension. Or did he hit free agency? When does football free agency technically start?
I don't exactly know, but just know he didn't hit it.
Okay, so he didn't hit free agency, and he came to terms on a 4-year, $160 million deal.
Yes.
Dak Prescott got paid,
The big bucks.
and personally, he definitely deserves it.
Absolutely. In my personal opinion, when he's
But
hot, he is a top 5 quarterback in the league. But
mm,
the team that he's surrounded by is not top 15. I won't give them.
I'd say they definitely underperform, though. I think they have. I don't think they have a great team, but I think they have a team that should be winning that division.
I personally thought before Dak Prescott got hurt last year, I thought the
Mhm.
Cowboys were going to have the NFC East division on lock
They
because
might have. Who knows? Because he got hurt early, didn't he?
he did. He got hurt either week 4 or week 5. I forget which week it was, but
It's very possible that
they had 3
they would have
wins.
had the division
They had
unlocked.
3 wins. They were killing that
Yeah.
division. The Giants just the Giants are getting better. I'll give them that. The Eagles just got a whole lot worse. The
Yep.
Redskins are gonna get a whole lot worse.
Whoa! Washington football team.
Sorry, the Washington football team got a whole lot worse. I personally think the Cowboys have this division on lock, but it's
Yep.
it's all gonna depend on how actually good this Dallas Cowboys team is and then how far they can go in the playoffs. Because with their
I'm
team,
not even
with
saying
the
they
team
have
they
to.
have
Yeah.
right now, they ain't going far in the playoffs.
Well, they're not, but I think they should be able to win that division, and they don't even have to exceed expectations. They just have to live up to their talent that they have on that team and on that roster. They got it. If they just live up to the expectations that are set for them, they'll make playoffs. Probably won't go
Absolutely.
far, but they'll make it.
No, and
They'll win that
they
division.
won't make a 1 or 2 seed to get buys, but they'll be a 3 or 4
No,
seed. But they
they'll
gotta
win
win
that
that
division.
wild card game. If they don't win that wild card game, I'd say that entire season was a bust.
I mean, I doubt they win the wild card game, if I'm being honest. It depends on who they play, of course, but and
Yeah.
obviously, anything could happen, of course. But I don't know. I think what position are they drafting? Yeah, you're in the draft this year. Do you know
Ooh,
that?
it's top 10.
Okay,
Um,
so so I don't really know too much about the Dallas Cowboys. What would you say their biggest need is right now? Like, what position should they draft?
they need anybody in the secondary. Anybody.
Okay,
A cornerback, a safety, anyone. Just someone that can actually like hold a wide receiver down to not let them catch passes, pretty much.
okay.
That's where I'm at.
I have a question for you as a Jets fan. Moving on from Dak Prescott a little bit, what would you do in the quarterback spot? Would you put all your eggs in trying to go for Deshaun Watson? Would you try and trade, or sorry, excuse me, would you try and draft a quarterback like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? Or would you say,
for the Jets?
yeah, for the Jets? Or would you draft a better weapon for Sam Darnold, stay with Darnold, and, let it play out?
Okay. So you gave me 3 options. I'm gonna tell you the first option of Sam Darnold. He's got to go. He's got to go.
All right, Darnold. So you think Sam Darnold has to go?
Sam Darnold has to go. I don't care how he goes.
Now,
I don't care
do
where
you
he
think?
goes. He's got
So
to
do you
go.
think it's just because of his? You just don't think he has enough talent to play on this team, or?
He doesn't have enough talent. He's injury prone.
I mean, to be fair to Sam Darnold, though, look at the team he's been surrounded by. It's been a
I-
bad team, bad coaching for a while.
The team he was surrounded by this year wasn't that bad wide receivers wise. He had receivers to throw.
Yeah.
to. He
Did they
did.
get open?
Yes, they
Alright.
did get open. But he did.
It
throw a
wasn't great.
lot of
It's
picks.
probably one of the worst teams in the NFL.
No, they were. Yeah, I agree, but it's not like he
And
didn't have
also,
weapons to work with.
okay, well, for him. It doesn't seem like he can get the best of both worlds like a lot of other quarterbacks can. Sure, he has some people to throw to, but the coaching sucked. And then this year the coaching should be a little better with Robert Salah,
Yes,
but
so it's gonna be a lot better.
I don't know how many people have to throw to if he's around. But continue as to why you don't want Sam Darnold here and what you would do.
I knew
rather than
from
keep
the
him.
second we hired Adam Gase, it was gonna go downhill, and
I think all Jets fans knew.
you
but,
you can't sign a coach just for your quarterback. That's just not how it
Yeah.
works.
But you mean the offense genius,
Yes,
Adam
offensive genius.
Gase, according to your GM?
Yes,
What a joke.
that was a joke.
But you
But
know
going-
what? Maybe
going back to
maybe
the-
it makes it better than expecting a good head coach going into it. Maybe it makes it a little better that you knew it was going to be bad.
I feel like a defensive
you
minded
didn't have
coach
high
is also a lot
expectations.
better. They're an
Probably. Is that what
offensive-minded.
Robert Salah
He
is?
is a
Is he a
defensive-minded
defensive
coach.
minded
Yes.
coach? I like Robert Salah.
Yes.
I do. I think he brings a good attitude to the Jets.
He does. But going back to the quarterback thing, I
Yep.
feel like if we can't get anything going with Watson by the time the draft happens, we just gotta go with the best man, which is either going to be Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, because
Zach
obviously
Wilson.
it's not going to be Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. No, personally, I think Zach Wilson is the way to go if you decide to go the draft route. The only thing that is like a little bit of a red flag, he wasn't a captain on his team.
No, he wasn't.
Now, I don't really know what that says about him. Maybe that he's not a good leader, but you need your quarterback to be a leader because, I don't know, I'd say out of any position in any sport, that's where the most leadership needs to be held.
Yeah. Well, the combine is also soon, so we'll see where they're at the combine.
Yep.
That will definitely help the decision-making process, but we'll see. We will see.
And I'd like to point out, nothing has been confirmed from the Texans side that Deshaun Watson has actually formally requested a trade.
Oh, no.
They're keeping it very, very tight-knit.
Yes.
Only the Texans know what's really going on right now.
Yeah.
Now, do you see Deshaun Watson being traded by the draft to any team, or no?
That's tough. I don't know. He could be traded before the draft. He could be traded in like a week or two. He could be traded in July, August. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could
Well,
be
I'm hoping
it could be as early as 2 weeks, or it could be as late as a month before the season.
Well, I'm hoping we're on air for when he eventually gets dealt, because I think it's pretty inevitable at this point.
That would be the biggest off-season signing to a team in
I'd say
the
so.
NFL for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think we're going to call it there. That was a very solid episode. 56
Definitely.
minutes. Very solid. We talked about a lot of topics, a lot of big topics. Dak Prescott. But you have anything to say before we sign off?
Well, I mean, I appreciate everyone for watching. A little bit of a slow week in sports,
Very
so
slow.
not too exciting. The Dak Prescott thing definitely helped spike it up a little bit, but we're hoping for more exciting news for the next time we broadcast to you. But we do appreciate everyone that listens and listens on YouTube after they get uploaded.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
You can follow us down below. You can read our description. Comment us about certain topics you'd want us to talk about. Follow our socials, Twitter and Twitch. At Plaid Harpy, at Puerto Rican, and then our Twitters are dcruise914, and what's your Twitter?
Liam Shea 34
Follow those down below. Those will be in the description.
in the description.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to end it.
Tell your friends.
Yes. We will keep you updated on when the next podcast will be. Definitely expect one before the weekend. Definitely expect that. And we will see you in the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
See ya.